Hey, if you like to shop on Amazon like most everybody, you can help Southgate Media Group out by going to southgatemediagroup.com and look at the top. There's an Amazon link. You can click that, log into your account, and a portion of everything you buy will help support the podcast of Southgate Media. So it's cheap, it's easy, and you're just doing the same thing that you would do anyways.
This is Dan Jurgens, and if you want to have a good time, keep listening to the Krypton Report.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Jason J. Lewis, the voice of Superman on Justice League Action. This is Mark Wade, writer of Superman Birthright, and you're listening to
the All Things Kryptonian podcast, including Superman and Supergirl.
We discuss games, movies, cartoons, TV shows, and comics.
Find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter.
Hey guys, before we get started, I just want to say, if you haven't done so yet, but check out the Aspiring Kryptonian podcast as well as the Last Sons of Krypton podcast, both hosted by friends of ours. Good time in the world of Superman. Welcome to the Krypton Report. I'm your host, Tyler, the Superman of tomorrow, the man of tiredness. That's right, because I have children and we're house hunting. And with me, as always, the Superman of red, that partner of crime of mine, the Man of Steel himself, Mr. James.
Partner in stopping crime.
Yeah, partner in stopping crime.
Unless we're from Earth 3.
Well, at this point, we're probably on Earth. What the heck? But who knows? Who knows? Good time. House hunting. That's horrible right now. And, yeah, that's life. And it's taking us forever to record because of life. So, good. You're just glad people are getting to hear our lovely, lovely voices.
Yes. It's like sweet caramel to your ears.
It is. It's like having a Twix. James is the left side. I'm the right side. And nobody understands what that really means because Twix is like that. But let's jump into some news. I felt at first like it was going to be like a slow, kind of like, oh, okay. But we got some interesting just points of news. So let's start it off here. Our good friend Brian went to Metropolis, Illinois. So he got to go to the Superman Museum. Thought we'd throw that out there. Try to get Brian to talk about it. He was like, and I quote, "It was awesome. But I had my wife with me. So I had to walk through it once. Really didn't stare and look at stuff. So I forgot that." End quote.
Well, I mean, I guess at least he got to go.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. My wife was awesome. We went through like 4 times.
Awesome.
The digital release of Justice Society World War II has been released this past. For all the listeners, we do a review of all the DC animated films, but we don't do it till the day that the physical copy drops. Even though it's getting crazier because they're moving around when the physical drop, they're moving stuff when it premieres on HBO Max, yada yada yada. But we believe in waiting for the physical so that everyone has a chance to watch it and before we drop their review. I'm not
some people like us kind of we like to have our physical copy. So you know, I don't often double dip and buy the digital as well as the physical.
And I also don't like these people who drop these reviews the day that something comes out. And I'm like, nobody's had a chance to absorb the material. So it's a little nerve-wracking. But also, let's see here. Not a lot to tell, but there's been pictures that surfaced of Michael Keaton's Wayne Manor, with Warner Brothers trucks in front of it, where they are beginning filming for the Flash movie. As of right now, it's called The Flash, not Flashpoint, people. So, just want to get that across.
Well, I hope, I hope everything runs smoothly. COVID and stuff. I mean, the UK and Canada and things like that, they have strict guidelines that when people on those sets and stuff like that, they catch COVID, they shut down for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, they do.
So, hopefully they have a smooth run filming that movie. Not too many problems. And, it's The Flash. We've been waiting for this movie forever.
Yeah.
So hopefully,
since it was announced back in 2014. Can you believe that? It was announced in 2014.
yeah, that's crazy.
Also, quick information. They released this we didn't even know about. There's going to be a Teen Titans Go and a DC Superhero Girls crossover episode.
I definitely am going to watch that with my kids. We've watched all of Teen Titans Go pretty much to this point, and all of DC Superhero Girls. I mean, the original style and the new one, which the season's on Netflix.
Yes, which is very nice, because I guess this is going to kick off its second season. It's a good show. It took me a little bit to get into just because it's like a step above Teen Titans Go as far as like the tone and the seriousness of it. But I really like the original.
Yeah, Teen Titans Go is very slapstick. I mean, that's what that show is built around. DC Superhero Girls is just a step above animation and you know what the characters deal with, like you said, the tone.
And let's see here. Here's some amazing news, James. I've already marked this on my calendar. DC Fandom returns for 2021, but this time October 16th. And cool. I think, you know what? Being that time frame, I think it'll be another amazing event, because by that time we will have footage probably of Shazam 2, of Black Adam, probably another trailer for The Batman.
We will have seen the Suicide Squad.
Yes, we will have. So it's pretty awesome that, you know, they're going to do it again, which I think they should. I mean,
there's still a lot to look forward to from DC in the future.
I just hope, you know, the one thing about fandom, like I hope if they make it a 1-day thing, awesome. If they do a 2-day thing, I think it needs to be back to back. And I just think last time day one was so much better. It was so great because you felt the energy. Like you're at your house, but then like everybody online's talking about it. You know, everyone's messaging everybody. Like it just felt so great. Like we were sharing and experiencing something. And then the second day, which was more like comic based and stuff, like I felt like it kind of faltered a little. And they changed some stuff around. Some panels didn't appear on Fandom. They just dropped them online. So I hope that if they do end up, you know, we still have some time. They do a 2-day thing. They kind of split it up a little bit, and just make it not much, but make it stronger than it was last year. But last year was amazing.
Oh yeah, they nailed it. It was the best. It was the best online event.
I mean,
that was last year that we had from every studio, from every con, anything that we witnessed. Like DC Fandom was the best.
I mean, come on, it did better than Comic-Con online did. You know, like it outdid Comic-Con. You know, Comic-Con had nothing because everybody pulled out to do their own specials. They had Bill and Ted. So, anyways, moving on. Let's get into some shows here, okay? So, how many people out there have watched Mad Men? You watched Mad Men back in the day?
I have not. It's a show I've always wanted to check out, but I have not.
I'll say this. I enjoyed Mad Men. I've never finished the last season because I feel like it started slow, and I felt like I was very much forced to try to finish it. And I remember the show's creator said like he had the image, like the final image of how it ended in his head for a long time, and it was about getting his main protagonist there. I'm like, that's cool. But the big thing to me was it's like one of those shows that you watch once, it's good. I tried to go back and watch because like when I started watching it, Jania, she jumped on and started watching me, and then we tried to go back and watch what she had missed, and I realized I really can't go back and it's not a rewatchable show. But the reason why I bring up Mad Men, for all the people like, oh, you care about Mad Men, Tyler. The actor who played Pete on Men's Menza, Mento, sorry. He, and I had it, and I'm pulling up his name, so everyone bear with me, has been cast as Jonathan Crane's Scarecrow for Titans. It was like Vincent.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not familiar with him, so.
I would just say he was kind of creepy, like that odd, like Vincent Parthier. He played Pete Campbell, and he was like a kind of a douchebaggy guy. He would be Jonathan Crane. He has also been on Law and Order in 2 episodes, the OA 4 episodes. See any movies that are prominent that maybe people have actually watched. I mean, he has a body of work. Most of us been looking at the indie stuff. He did in 2011. He was in that movie with Justin Timberlake, In Time. It was a pretty interesting concept of a movie. He played Philippi Weiss. But yeah, I mean, he's worked for a long time, but a lot of like really small budgeted films. Check him out on IMDb. I mean, I think he's gonna do great. He's got this weirdness to him, this awkwardness. Like at some light, some angle, you kind of like him, but then sometimes you're like, I'm kind of not like scared, creeped out, but just kind of like, creeped out.
Yeah.
You know, like that.
Well, that's good.
You know, like that. You know, like middle-aged white guy kind of thing, where you're like, dude, like if you had a mustache and glasses, I would think you were a serial killer or rapist, like, you know, that kind of thing going on. So good for him, Jonathan Crane. You know, it'll be nice to see a really good Scarecrow. They kind of did it really weird when they did it on Gotham. They did another one of those like twofold things where they had Jonathan's father as like kind of a proto Scarecrow type thing, where he was scaring people, and it was played by Julian Sands, also known as Jor-El from Smallville. And then they had like a young Jonathan Crane that he grew up or something, and then I mean, by the last season, he was Scarecrow. He looked awesome, but he was just in like a Scarecrow suit. But it'll be cool. Scarecrow is definitely one of those very interesting villains. I mean, Cillian Murphy was like perfect as Scarecrow in the Dark Knight trilogy, and I kind of wish he got more screen time. But it's better to want more and not have it than to have too much and hate it.
Yeah, true. He definitely didn't get enough screen time and you know, the things that happened. I know they were pulled from the comic books, some different stories with Scarecrow, but they were very small parts after Batman Begins, and they nailed the costume on Gotham for Scarecrow, and by the end he was pretty cool. So, I mean, and Titans is a pretty serious show, way more than they could even do on, on
Gotham.
primetime Fox. So, yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing what they bring to Scarecrow on HBO Max. That sounds really good. Sounds really cool.
Yes, it does. I want to.
For real.
So the next piece of information, HBO, speaking of, they have cast their Guy Gardner for the Green Lantern series. And it's the actor Finn Wittrock. Now, I know he did a lot on American Horror Story. I also know that he was one of the actors that was in talk, rumored to be whatever you want to call the hype machine, to be Nightwing when they were talking heavily about the Nightwing movie. But he's going to be Guy Gardner. And that's all we have to say about that. Nobody likes Guy Gardner. Not even Guy Gardner likes Guy Gardner.
Right.
I mean, who would? Seriously.
I like the actor. I can say that. I showed up on season 4 of American Horror Story and has, I think, been in at least most of it since. I'm not entirely caught up, but so far what I've seen since season 4, he has been in.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
so
one of those shows
I do like.
We started it, and it wasn't a bad. It just we couldn't get into it at first because we were kind of forcing ourselves because we just had so much going on. And then we went back and watched the season that had like the witches, and then it's just one of those shows that through
which is a good season.
Moving around, not having cable, and then just being busy, and then kids and stuff like this, I've never really gone back to. Because then we had the whole explosion of superhero TV.
Right.
And just trying to keep up with that stuff. Like,
it's hard to fit in everything you want to see nowadays. I mean, me and Jamie were just talking about, because we watched an episode of, was it Shadow and Bone, I think, on Netflix, based on a book.
Yeah. It's on our to-watch list.
And we watched the first episode, and we were just thinking, and you know, with what we talk about, how we want so many of these, we want these superheroes to have more like long form mini-series type stuff, shows, so that way we can really expand. You know, these things do so much better in a longer form medium than the time allotted that you're stuck to with a film. I mean, we've seen that now with WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I mean, we've been watching CW for years, and we're looking forward to our HBO Max shows. We got Titans and Doom Patrol. I mean, just nailing it. So, absolutely.
And then, let's see. This is a quick. So, real quick here, Zack Snyder released two pictures of behind the scenes of filming the Green Lantern scene for the Snyder Cut of Justice League. It was a little green screen setup with a motion capture suit for the actor, filmed in Zack Snyder's driveway. And it's just a pretty awesome behind the scenes photo. Because, you know, if no one knows that.
Even with the motion capture suit, the green screen for a Green Lantern, like it kind of goes together.
Yeah. For anyone that doesn't know, he wanted Jon Stewart to be in instead of Martian Manhunter. And I posted today would people have preferred Jon Stewart over Martian Manhunter in the end of the Snyder Cut. We won't get into that right now, but just head over to our Facebook and comment on that. And
he had
cool
the Jon Stewart crew cut.
Oh yeah, he did. And I just think that it would have been cool to see. And I'm hoping that maybe this actor, he looks good, would have gotten a chance to play Jon Stewart, say, an appearance in this Green Lantern series that's supposed to have multiple Green Lantern. Quickly, we got our first look at a picture poster of Naomi for the Naomi series. It's a panel or cover that was brought to life, and it looks cool. I'm definitely going to check it out. Like, I always give every show at least the pilot in the first maybe 2 episodes to see if I'm really invested in the story before I'm like, you know what, I'm out. And I mean, I've done well watching all, you know, CW comic book based properties. So I can't say it's one I'm thrilled about just because it's a new character. You know, I read it when she was in Bendis's run. She doesn't tie into any of the other characters, so it's like she's this very outlier. So
Well, I mean, even in the comics, she's from another Earth. She's on she's on the Prime Earth, but she's from another Earth.
Now, if they bring her into the world that she survived like Crisis or something, that could.
Yeah, that could be an interesting way to bring her about.
Because that would just like bring her into the fold of the universe to kind of give freshness to the universe that feels like it's dying. All right, and then.
Yeah, I kind of trailed off earlier. My point was when I was talking about Jamie was if they do, I told her it's really nice to see these streamers have the opportunity to make these shows and give us that long form. And I said if we ever get a remake of Harry Potter, they need to do it like 7 seasons for like the 7 years as opposed to movies. They need to do 7 seasons as a series for each year instead.
Oh, I totally agree with that.
Absolutely.
That was one thing that we talked about last year when we did our big Harry Potter rewatch. Is it boggles my mind that there's no Harry Potter show for HBO Max. One that has this property
right?
with so much history. I mean, to just do like an origin series of Hogwarts would be amazing because then you don't have to worry about tying it into anything else. And you can tell
it can be completely original for the most part. And you can tell
the founding of Hogwarts with the main wizards, and I mean, Janine and I just went down the whole.
There's so much lore for those characters too. And what all brought it up too was the fact that I didn't know that Disney Plus is doing a Percy Jackson and the Olympians show.
Yeah.
Over there, I was like, oh man, like this is amazing. These streamers doing all these books, we're able to get more of that content because they're not trying to boil these books into movies.
Right. What do you call it? Crap, I forgot. Oh well. Anyways,
sorry.
No, it's long. We watched it with we watched the Percy Jackson movies last year with the kids too, and they both enjoyed them. And it was like, they're like, oh, is there another one? Nope, just the 2 kids. You know, I'm like, oh, okay. So it'd be nice to have that kind of long form storytelling. Stargirl and the JSA return August 10th. When they said summer, they weren't like, they didn't mean summer. They meant like, hey, late summer, guys. Because I always think of like August, like late summer, you know, just because like, you know, I've been out of school for how many years, but like summer is still like fixated like on the school calendar, you know, like
right.
Summer starts, you know, late May, beginning of June, like June, July, you know, and then August, that's summer. And because August usually is into August or September.
is really midsummer.
Yeah. Like that's like the mid to late summer when it's supposed to be the hottest, but like you start school like at the end of August. Like you start in mid to late August, that's when like you start 2-a-days or conditioning, depending on the sport, or, you know, getting ready for school, you know?
Yeah, football and soccer.
So it's like, it's just weird because I still think of August as like end of summer starting into fall, and really fall doesn't start like the end of the year. You know, and it's just like, yeah, stupid school calendar. But speaking of August, so this Tuesday coming up, May 11th will be the Supergirl mid-season finale, with the following May 18th being the return of Superman and Lois. The final 13 episodes of Supergirl will air August 24th. Think of, like, I'm like, wow. Like, so August 24th, we're going to get Supergirl, and it's going to be, we'll see, one.
I was going to say, when does 13 weeks put us at then?
Like
3 months down the line, that's November.
Mid-November, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And potentially, if there are any breaks, we're not looking to finish Supergirl until December or January with those 13 episodes, depending on the breaks. I mean, we really don't know what the airing plan is, and if they have to make adjustments for it.
Right.
For different things. I mean, like Supergirl swooped in to cover that airtime for Superman because they had to shut down production on that for a couple of weeks because of COVID.
So it makes me wonder if it'll be
knock them off schedule.
If it might ends up being like one of those like Supergirl they'll kind of block out or whatever, and like, oh, this show all of a sudden like has to shut down because of COVID. Throw in Supergirl, I'm like, there's some Supergirl.
Oh, yeah. Well, now they've got a lot of shows. Some of the shows finished, so they have a few things to. They have a lot of episodes coming out to air.
Yeah, but it just kind of blew my mind just because it's like 13 episodes that late. But okay, like.
Well, absolutely. I mean, the whole quote unquote television season, the fall spring season doesn't exist this year.
Yeah, I mean it really doesn't. I mean, CW usually launches their shows at the beginning of October, which is always something to look forward to.
Yep.
But
we didn't get anything until January, February this year.
That is all the news that I have. And now we'll jump into Supergirl because we have dilly-dallied enough. People are like, get on with it, kids. And we're like, okay. So, let's jump into Supergirl, Season 6, Episode 5, Prom Night. First thing I will say, this episode was weird. And I say that because this is the episode that, like, you get when they're about to do a crossover, when they need their main characters and our actors away to be filming for the crossover. And if you think about it, like the scheduling, this would be that episode, building up to that crossover mid-season.
Right.
So it was just weird with knowing there wouldn't be a crossover and they were working on writing this season, that they still kind of did this episode. Just kind of makes me wonder, because there is no Kara, well, no Melissa in this episode.
Yes, no Melissa. This is our second Midvale episode, and the first one was a flashback, and this one actually involves time travel with Legion ship. And is that a Legion ship? It's got to be, right?
Yeah, it's something that makes sense. Brainy has his Legion ship.
They time travel back to Midvale, and so the last episode of Midvale was a very much a homage to Smallville, and then this one they keep that, but they bring in Supergirl, so it's kind of like a Supergirl Smallville crossover.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting.
Definitely a blend.
But it just kind of threw me because I was like, wow, why, like, but anyways, it's Brainy and Nia focused. Like,
right.
It starts very quickly at the beginning where we see Jean and Alex, and then they just, I don't think we saw Lena, did we?
No, I don't.
Did you even see Jean and Alex?
Don't recall. Yeah, we saw Jean and Alex. I know for 100% they were there. Because
we get the line from Alex about Kenny, who supposedly died in Midvale, and Alex mentions it's one of those that happened, didn't happen. So basically alluding to
it was the world before, world after Crisis. He died before because of the sheriff, and now after Crisis that didn't happen, so Kenny remained alive.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, so Crisis is nice to be referenced. The 2009 prom. Does that make you feel old? They're talking about 2009?
Yeah, seeing as my prom was in 2003.
Yeah, mine too. And what's crazy is I say that, and then I'm like, wow, that seems fun. And then I think 2009, That's the year I started dating Jania.
That's the year Bella was born.
So like it doesn't feel that long ago, but then at the same time I'm like, geez, like that's the year
Lots
after.
happened in that time.
That was the year after The Dark Knight. It was the year without the MCU. because we got 2 movies in 2008, nothing in 2009, and then 2010 was Iron Man 2, then 11 was Thor and Captain America, then 12 was the Avengers, and then it was just after that.
Right.
So it's
the fuse was lit.
So it's just kind of crazy. Like they talk about it and like they're trying to act like it's so long ago in some ways, and I'm like, dang, that just feels weird. And then I try to establish like a timeline, trying to think like when Supergirl, like this show kind of exists like in real time, So I was like, well, if Supergirl premiered and like it was supposed to be 2015 when the series started, and I was like, and I'm like, okay, so I'm like doing this math, and I'm like, okay, she went to college, but then I'm like, post-crisis, so I'm like, it gives us like 2 years of playability. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm sitting here like, okay, Tyler, calm down. But so basically, they're going back to the future, back to the past. Brainy is stress eating again, and they make a joke about him missing last time like 12,000 years trying to time travel. We find out that Alex is already in college, and she's back, and she's mad at Kara for not telling Kenny that she wants to go to college.
National City University.
Instead of Midvale College. And I was like, Midvale has a college, but then I had to pause and think that there's a Christian university in Circleville. And I was like, okay. I just was like, all right, I shrugged it. Like, okay.
It's a college. It's Midvale College. It's Midvale Community College. You know what I mean?
I just kind of like, okay, makes sense. We meet young Cat Grant, which I feel like was just put in here for fun, but actually I find her annoying.
Very annoying. She is so annoying. She has some of the mannerisms and the cadence that Callista Flockhart had, but none of the charm that Callista Flockhart had, and it was bad.
Exactly. And that's exactly what was missing. Because there was no charm to it. I was just like, oh, okay. She works for Perry White. She's a Gotham columnist, and she's trying to break out into serious journalism. So I gotta give her points for that. The time box is damaged somehow on the shuttle. And of course, Brainy and them are like, it can't be seen. Can't be seen. And then of course there's Kara, Alex, Penny.
Yeah.
So they have to become Brenda to hide who they are. Gave me a little bit of feeling of like Superman Secret Origins issue 2 kind of thing, where like the Legion comes back and talks to Superman and trains him, takes him to the future, just like the whole Brainy representing the Legion coming back and everything. So I was like, that's cool. And Alex is mad at Kara for basically using her powers. And Alex and Kara, they're not really like. We gotta remember things are different from post-crisis, because at this point in time, had Crisis not happened, they would have been closer. Because it was the event from the last flashback episode thing that brought them together. It makes me also wonder where Kenny is in the future. If we'll get that story somewhere through here.
Right.
They hide the ship under the field. Dreamer uses her powers to peel grass to the ship.
Yeah, it was interesting. Kenny and Kara are doing this save the day thing, like Clark and Chloe used to do. And they've got their own plays to call for superheroing. Mm-hmm. And Kara uses her heat vision and splits the field open.
And then Dreamer kind of tells her story as like her and Kara bond over being aliens. And I was trying to think if any of what she said sounded retcon-y. Didn't Dreamer get to talk to her mom before she died about her powers or something? I don't remember.
So the Dreamer's story was her sister, her older sister, was supposed to be the one with the gift, and they were grooming her sister to be the one with the gift. And she kept it hidden, and then they found out, but they died.
Okay,
so she had nobody to teach her how to interpret her dreams, which is where her story is this season.
I was trying to remember.
And the end of last season, not being able to interpret what her dreams mean.
I knew that it was supposed to be her sister. I remembered that. I just can't remember the mom part. It's been so long. Especially with the post-crisis revisions, I'm kind of always listening like, has something been changed? So we get a Lois Lane mention. We get 2 Superman mentions this episode. Kat, when she shows up, she says C.J. Grant. And she mistakes Alex for Eliza, because Alex is wearing Eliza's badge, into Midvale to try to use some of the college tech to help, trying to help them fix their ship. So that's fun hijinks, but at the same time I'm thinking, where are the Danver parents? Jeremiah's already gone at this point. Where is Eliza? Okay. And the humorous part is
we get a picture of Helen Slater in this episode, but Eliza is nowhere to be found.
We get a great picture of Helen Slater in this episode. It's like, oh, there it is, stock picture. So we get Brainy, who gets discovered hiding at the school trying to build a 3D printer, who ends up joining the drama club, the baseball club, the glee club. Anything else? Or is it like he basically
he did baseball. He did he joined a lot of clubs. Heck, what did he say? He said, pretty sure he said mathletes.
Yeah.
I want to find it because I thought it was really funny. He's supposed to be keeping a low profile, but he joins while he's waiting for his homemade 3D printer back in 2009 to print.
And I'm just kind of like, you don't have anything on like your Legion ship. I love when future tech is supposed to be so awesome and then it doesn't work when you need it to.
So.
And then we have a
key events sideline that goal. What did you say? STEM, lab and research of sustenance, Glee Club, Spartan Chief, needing to preserve student cover. I agree. Math League, Drama Club, and Coach Drama Guild and Coach Kripke. Yes, Kripke.
It's a dual meaning for us fans. I think Big Bang Theory and I think Supernatural.
Yep, I think the same.
Is this our first Cat Grant post-Crisis? Since Crisis, we haven't seen Clarissa Flockhart, have we?
Oh, I do not believe we have.
See, I don't think we have. I thought about that. I put that down. So there's a truck that's driving that no one's driving because we have villains who run an international zoo or intergalactic zoo, and they find there's 2 Kryptonians on Earth. They want to kidnap one. These villains, there's like Torque. They basically stage a gas truck explosion attack, and Kara stops it. And then they find out there's Bluin also on Earth. These villains suck, and they're lame, and they're just. The funniest thing that they did was not even something they did. It's when Brainy brings up 2 pictures. One looks at this horrible Death Eater, like gonna tear your face off alien creature. The other is Torque. He describes one as the vegetarian. These people are vegetarians, and it's scary looking. That was fun. But this, yeah, poor guy is just lame. I'm sorry. But we find out because of Brainy's actions, it alters his. In the future, he's still at large. He was not apprehended like he was supposed to be. He's very open. At the end of it, basically he outsmarts them and kidnaps, kind of like traps them. Pat drives a car that has Metropolis license plate. I do like when cities have their own.
I know, right?
I thought that was very interesting that we have a scene where Nia calls her mom, even though they're in the past, because of issues, like you said, interpreting her dream.
Yeah.
Alex has a whole speech she gives to Kara about sacrifice. She calls Kara immature. And let's see. What did you think about good old Nia singing 9 to 5?
I mean, her and Brainy had a good time doing it. I thought she had a pretty good voice for it. Like that it's her stress song.
I was like, I'm started singing. I'm like, Dolly Parton's her stress song. All right. And then I'm like thinking about the movie. It's a funny movie. Good movie. And I was like, all right, I guess I can see that. I don't know why when I was young I'd be singing 9 to 5 when not work, but whatever. Made her happy, made Brainy smile, and we have this tension in between Alex and Kara. So that's interesting because we're back to that kind of drama. But Kenny reveals to Kara that he built them a hideout. And it's in an old barn. And like the loft of the barn, it's their fortress.
Mm-hmm.
For their crime fighting days ahead.
See, at this point, I know that they know what Kara can do. I don't know if they know that Kara is Superman's cousin and that she's a Kryptonian, and they named it a fortress in like his honor.
I think it's one of those just wink, wink. Look, it looks like Clark's fortress, Smallville, his loft barn.
Well, I think that is definitely a part of it.
Oh, I think they even called it
Not
out,
the whole
saying
thing.
Hawaii and everything. I'm like, all right. So, and then the big kick in the face when I was watching this, because I wasn't keeping track of time, is to be continued. And so it's to be continued, but I think I wrote this down. I'm double checking. This coming week, there isn't an episode. And we're going to skip this week. And the next episode is May 11th, which is Prom Again. And it's the second part to this. And I'm just kind of like, I feel like, I don't know, this episode to me was okay. I wasn't extremely thrilled about it. Yeah, it was kind of fun. Like we said, it was kind of the episode that makes me think they're building up to like a crossover, but at the same time, I don't want to feel like I did for Arrow. Where I'm like, this is my last season with these characters, and you're wasting my time. Like,
No, it's on Tuesday. Air date is May 4th. So
what?
we have another episode
for what?
for Prom Again.
Are you? Where are you seeing this? Because I'm on.
I mean, I
IMDb.
just looked up Supergirl season 6 Prom Again on Google,
'Cause I'm on,
and
I'm
it
on-
says new.
I'm on IMDb. It says next episode May 11th. Maybe we should go to CW. CW. Look how efficient we are using such wonderful things. So let's see. Tuesday, 4th.
I have a link here for Prom Again that says May 4th for IMDb.
What?
Yeah.
I'm gonna send you my screen.
Oh, no. No, now this one, no, that one says that once I clicked on it, it said 11.
Maybe they changed. Well, good listeners, we'll find out because we don't know jack crap. Thanks, Internet. But all it says, like, I'm on the CW, it says, get the app, Tyler. It's crazy to me how much the CW just was like, app. Because all it says is Flash and Supergirl Tuesday, but it doesn't say the details of the episode. But anyways, so it says next new episode 5/5/20.
Well, that doesn't work.
So you know what? Let's just all wait and find out. We'll find out together, man.
Well, this is from the TV Guide website.
Oh, it's gonna be my next.
Is Prom Again is May 4th, and Fear Not with a K is May 11th.
So that would make me happy. And
Yes.
we'll just wait and see, because maybe they changed it the last minute, something stupid, because they were like, "Oh, we're gonna drag this out," because that made me sad. Because I want to see Kara, like Melissa Kara, before I go on this long hiatus. Here's my last question, because it didn't quite make sense to me. They talked about needing Kara's DNA to do this whole track thing, right? They talked about when she expels power. What kind of DNA do they need exactly? Because wouldn't just having young Kara, you'd be able to get DNA?
Well, I mean, quite possibly, but, with the Kryptonian indestructibility, how many times could they actually leave a significant trace of DNA when they would expend their powers beyond and make themselves vulnerable?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, what do they need? Blood? Because, like, didn't you just get a piece of kryptonite and cut her? Or, like, ask her for a hair sample? Or, mouth swab? Something like, But anyways.
Well, you certainly can't get it from her now. She's in the Phantom Zone.
That's what I'm saying. You go back in time and get it to her from, or like I said, like, let's make some more paradoxes here. Just go back in time, like before Lena sends her to the Phantom Zone, and just kind of push Lena a little to the side so she doesn't hit Kara. Oh, look, boom.
Yeah. Well, I mean, their original plan was to get it without being noticed.
So,
but
time travel, it's always fun.
Yeah.
But
then in this episode, I mean, they create a space. They changed the space-time continuum. They created a new future because of their actions and their involvement.
But a bunch of not very smart.
For a 12th level intellect? No.
Right. Isn't that always weird? So
it's kind of nice though. I mean, I've definitely liked Jesse Rath better since he got the inhibitors taken off. And this season he's done really good, very good acting, trying to play a character who is feeling emotions for the first time.
I like,
because normally we experience that as a child growing up.
Mm-hmm.
That's why children throw fits and stuff. They're dealing with emotions that, not all the time, but that's why they do from time to time, is they're dealing with emotions that they don't know how to cope with.
They're learning.
Yeah. And now we've got Brainy here doing it. And, the last 2 episodes, he's stress eating.
Yeah. And, it's been in.
Yeah. This episode, I mean, for the season, I don't know that it's one of the best episodes of the season, but it did bring a certain levity since it's been kind of so dire, so serious since the season began.
I'll give you that. I just get bummed because I'm like, this is the last season. It's like, I want to.
Right. I don't think it's a very bad episode, but I still can't get over the young woman they cast to play Melissa as a teenager. I mean, you can almost see that she could freaking grow up to be Melissa.
I think both, like even the Alex cast.
Yeah.
I think both of them are very good. I don't think Cat Grant is. But that's James's thought on Supergirl. What is your thought, good listeners? Let us know. Hold on to your tights. Send us a message. And remember,